movies and television was always something that I grew up with. It was the one way that my parents could shut me up when I got a bit too noisy. They just plop me in front of the TV and then I'll shut up for the rest of the day. So I think that sort of just stuck with me. I grew up with the movies and whatnot, and by the time I was in college, it was always in the back of my head, but I didn't really think of filmmaking as a career because, grew up in a typical Chinese family. They expect us to be, we're expected to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, that sort of thing. But I brought it up with my parents one day, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, it sounds like okay, if that's what you want to do, then go and do it." But because we had no connections with people who did film at that time, and we weren't brought up in that environment, my parents thought that school would be the option to go. So I went to film school. My first experience with filmmaking was on this little film called Scully, which was released in 2006, and that was at that time directed by a Malaysian filmmaker by the name of Arvin Abraham. Arvin's actually my high school senior back in Damansara Jaya. So, and I was very close to his girlfriend, now fiance, and she had asked me if I wanted to come back to help, and I was living in the US at that time. And so I said, yeah, okay, and that summer I came home and, I helped him shoot this film, Scully, and then after that, a couple of years later, Arvin and I made a film called The Joshua Tapes. Yeah, and subsequently after that, it was a lot of I worked very closely with Pete Teo on 15 Malaysia and Undila, and subsequently after that, I did more corporate stuff. I am generally, when I first started started filmmaking, the goal of what I thought would be, the grand prize of filmmaking was always drama. But when I did my short film for 15 Malaysia, it was comedy, and people seem to have received that one pretty well. So I'm not really found a particular genre that I identify myself with, but it's always between drama and comedy, I guess, to that extent.